Hello, everybody, and welcome to Common Sense Warriors. My name is Reiner. This is Lyle. Say hi, Lyle.
Hello.
Today we have a very special guest, Lori King of Your Choice to Donate. Lori does an amazing amount of work in the community and for people in need, and I'm really excited to have her on. So thanks for being here, Lori.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Lyle, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Well, Lori, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Really do appreciate it. What I'd like to really cover today is what your company's about, or what you're actually doing out there. Just chatting with you before, I was really impressed with the amount of environmental benefits that is actually coming of that. So I'm going to let you go to town, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and then
Sure.
just go to town. Tell us exactly what it is you want to come across to our listeners. So thanks again for coming on today, and another Valley girl. You're from Chilliwack, correct?
Correct.
All right. So why don't you just tell us about yourself? How did you get into being in Your Choice to donate?
I was in auto recycling in the automotive field since day one. Grew up with two big brothers in an area where there wasn't a lot of things to do, so we worked on cars. And I went into mechanics after my grade 12 and got my mechanics license. Wasn't a lot of opportunity for women at that time.
I was just gonna say, like, that was pretty
Over 40 years ago.
Okay,
And
so you're like the
Front
original.
runner.
You're the original feminist.
one of the first ones, yeah.
Good for you.
Got an opportunity with United Used Auto Parts years ago
Yeah.
as inventory and learned computers regarding cars.
Okay.
So I could tell the guys what parts were good and so on.
Yeah.
Went through a lot of different auto recyclers over the years. Learned to become a manager. I've pulled parts. I've driven the tow truck. You name it to do with automotive, I'm pretty well done.
So you're a grease monkey.
Oh yeah, grease monkey by heart.
Fantastic. Well, let's touch on that a little bit. Like, so you were one of the. There wasn't a lot of female mechanics back 40 years ago.
No, when I went through my course, and one of the courses I was at Contland, there was 48 men and myself.
Wow.
On the course to get there.
And so how was that?
Brutal. Brutal.
On them or you?
Well, I held my own, let's put it that way.
Yeah, good for you.
I kind of knew that. I've known you for a while.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense to me.
And then as an opportunity came up to work with a charity car program years ago, over 15 years ago, I really liked the whole idea of car donations. I love it about the environment. Okay? If you're doing it correctly, which is one of my company's biggest programs, is it has to be drained properly. Our environment is too important not to do it the right way.
Right.
And doing the charity car program, anybody can actually donate, and I'm really impressed with a lot of people that don't have a lot, but they got that old car out the back, they don't know what to do with it, and they feel so much joy because they can help somebody. And they're not exactly well off, but they can actually help somebody, and I've seen the joy on the people and the kids and understanding what goes on. And donating to people who need something is very important, and it's been something that I've just enjoyed. When I was doing the charity car program years ago with a different company, not my company, my kids, which are my great nieces, nephews, my nephew, we took it on as a family to a point where my nephew bought a tow truck to support me.
Wow.
He did the towing. We never made huge money out of it. Boy, we were happy. Gavin, Sarah, and Blake are all part of my family that support me. Lori, which is Gavin and Sarah's mom, they're all there, and that's really what's the bottom line is everybody helping everybody.
So this is a family affair.
Really, yeah, it is.
Okay, so
I might have a corporation. That's funny. I'm the corporation.
Yeah.
That does the mechanical side of it, does the business side of it, make sure ICBC gets the D status paperwork correctly, make sure the donor knows what happened to their vehicle.
Yeah.
But when I do an event like the motorcycle show, any event that we go to, we're doing Chilliwack Fair this year, we're doing Party in the Park in Chilliwack.
Okay.
But we're mostly in the valley, but we do go from Hope to Horseshoe Bay.
Okay.
So it's not a small little thing.
So for our listeners it's in the, like, our our target market is the Fraser Valley. So
Fraser
basically,
Valley,
Fraser
yes.
Valley, Greater Vancouver
Yeah.
area, you have the ability to go pick up the car.
Absolutely.
Is there anything that's unreachable for you? Like if it's in the
No,
back
I
of
have
a
great
bush?
support with
Okay.
AJ Towing and Aggressive Towing in the valley. They've just picked up a 72 passenger bus
Wow.
that was donated by the movie companies, IMS Movies, Ian.
Okay.
We have a lot of support.
Okay.
And the nice part about it is your choice to donate. The reason I named it that was I wanted people to know it was their choice. They can choose the charity. It doesn't have to be one of my charities that I work with closely.
Okay.
They can choose one as long as they're an actual charity with a charity number, a nonprofit number, something along that line.
So you could donate to Canadian Cancer Society,
Absolutely.
United Way, that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
we
it's
take the car to Fraser Valley Metals.
Okay.
He's our sponsor. He's Carlo Caboni. Awesome gentleman. I've worked with him now 2 years. I've never been more impressed with a businessman that cares about the community. And he gives the best dollar we can for the vehicle. Unlike a lot of the other charity programs, the vehicle's weight isn't just what's paid for. Carlo also pays for the cat, the battery, and aluminum wheels.
the
catalytic
the
converter.
catalytic converter. Okay.
So there's a whole different concept of what we're paying for to get the money, as much money possible,
Okay.
to the charities.
So you're not just grabbing the car, crunching it up, putting it into a ball.
No. I've actually sold. I've been approached by people, and I've sold like a BMW for $12,500.
Oh wow! And then so the clients get the
Tax receipt for the full amount. I never quote a price over the phone for the simple reason is if I say it's worth $500 and in their heart they think it's worth $1,000, they get insulted,
Yeah.
and that's the last thing you want to do. And I do go out and meet all the donors.
Right.
I will personally go out and appraise the vehicle.
Yeah.
And talk to them and show them that, just because you've had it for 20 years and it's still running does not mean anyone else would like it.
Oh, yeah.
And to explain that to some donors, it's very tough.
Well, that's their. So a lot of the times their cars are their babies, and they
Absolutely.
don't want to let go.
We've had cars that was like a new car, and because the gentleman was not allowed to drive it anymore, he was very strong on it was going to be crushed. And I guaranteed that. I told him he could come down and see it being crushed. It only had 90K on it, but it was his baby. And if he couldn't drive it, no one was. And that's the choice.
Wow.
If they say to me, I want it, we've had where they've lost a family member and they just want the thing gone.
Right.
We also help with wills and that. If you're the executor, I'll walk you through how you can donate dad's, mom's, uncle's car.
Okay.
And we do all the paperwork for you.
So a lot of charity work, obviously. So how did you get started with charity? Like was there something that really got you going as far as going down the path of being a charitable person?
I was doing auto wrecking, got an opportunity to work with charity cars and realized it was an awesome way to help.
Yeah.
And it was something that sort of, I don't know, it clicked. It was right.
Yeah, sometimes that'll happen.
And my heart's into it.
Well, and that's what we really want to put across to people is a lot of times people don't go into business or to do something to make a lot of money. And you already said you're not in this for the money, but you're having a great time while you're doing it. And you have your family around you. You're being good to the environment. Why don't you walk us through, if we donate a car, if somebody donates a vehicle, could be you said a bus, train, not trains, but
yeah, you can do
really?
train.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go. If you have an old train car in your backyard, give her a call.
Yep.
Transporting that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
With you were saying that you drain all the vehicles and there's no oils or fluids left into there. Why don't you walk us through the difference between what you do and then what some other the charity car companies do out there?
Well, that was a big pet peeve of mine. Not only charity cars, but I've always had used cars and I've always fixed my own cars, worked on them. So I've been in auto wrecking yards a lot, and it used to just irk me to see just fluids drained all over the yards, and I mean we're not talking recently, we're talking over the last 40 years.
Right.
And I mean I've seen cars go in the crusher, and then on the bottom of the crusher you see all this liquid just dripping out, and that was like, wow.
Yeah, no, when it goes in the crusher, there will always be
A little,
something.
yeah, no, but I've seen it pour out.
No, not pour out. We drain the oil pan, we drain the gas, antifreeze, windshield washer fluid. All these are removed into a contained area.
Okay.
Everything gets in its own little containment bucket, you would say, is the easiest way to do it. And then that is all. We have environmental trucks come in and take old oil, old antifreeze, anything along that lines. We recycle the gas the best we can, but it is also sucked out by a reputable company.
Okay.
We work with the environmental people of BCSC, AR, Automotive Retailers Environmental Association.
Okay.
Colin McLean. He'll come around and he inspects the yard. And he tells us, hey, you got to have this, or you got to have that. The old days where the gas is in a 5-gallon bucket in the rain,
Oh, yeah.
out the back, is over. All our stuff is in contained area with a berm. So say we had an accident, it's not running out into the yard, it's contained there.
So is it, and the result of you doing all of this is obviously as little of environmental impact as possible.
Absolutely.
Now, did you just do this on your own accord, or were you made to be like this, or was this a voluntary thing?
No, one of the things I wanted to make sure when I got involved with this years ago was that the environmental side of it was also covered. Colin McLean was real helpful in that. He told me, if we're going to do this and you want to keep your vehicles environmentally correct, here's how to do it. So as I developed the other car program, whenever I had the contract with a similar, like an auto recycling company, it had to meet these standards before it could receive the vehicles.
Okay. So you were the one that decided where the vehicles would go and the environmental impact that was there.
Yeah.
And that was just on you. That was just a thing that you decided to do, or were you made to be like that, or was it?
It's just part of what being a mechanic. I hate working in an area where you're standing in 2 inches of oil. It was something that was bred into me right from auto recycling side of it and the automotive side of it. There's no reason why a mechanic can't be as responsible as everybody else about the environment. And it's part of me.
Good for you. Well, and I think that's very important to make sure that people are aware that the companies that are out there that are doing these types of things are going above and beyond the environmental standards that are laid down by Environment Canada, the province, the municipalities. Like, you're going above and beyond. Any reputable company is going above and beyond the standards that are out there.
Yes.
And I really think that's important for our listeners to know that most businesses that are out there, small businesses especially, really do care about our community. We care about our environment. We care about where the money's going, obviously, like as far as the charities are concerned. And so there's nothing, I don't see anything bad coming from this. Like, this is all good stuff.
This is all good stuff. I've got a very transparent company. As the charities, Reiner, they receive a spreadsheet at the end of the month with exactly what's come in, what I've done with it, what the costs have been.
Yeah.
All of that is all covered, very straightforward, and it's simple. It's on an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And it's done. And I have an auto broker that I take all my D status or vehicles not returning to the road. That's the other side of it is you have companies that just stack up all these forms because these guys come in and turn the cars in. Well, that makes it hard for ICBC to know if they're changing, if any company changes VINs or anything, because the vehicles, it's scrapped, but where's the paperwork? How do we know that it's off the road? So that final little thing, the detail, and I'm very detail orientated. Ask anybody. I'm a pain about it, but I take my paperwork in to ICBC at one of my insurance people who have worked with, Shelley's worked with me forever. Again, I luckily met her years and years ago, and she gets it. I can take them in. I get them back as a D status vehicle. ICBC knows now that
vehicle's no longer on the road.
84 Tempo that was donated on Thursday is now being recycled. And not only is it being recycled, you can look at it and see it's being recycled at a company that cares about the environment.
Yeah. Well, there's nobody wants to buy an 84 Tempo out there? Like,
no,
really?
I'm sorry.
I thought that'd be a classic or something.
With the decline of air care, you would think that Well, exactly. K cars.
Don't laugh, Reiner. I have sold a K car in the last 5 years. It had 60K on it.
60,000 K.
Yes.
That's a
and we do.
Reliant
There's another
automobile.
side of this too that you guys don't understand is I have a lot of people that I know that are in need too. So when I talk to a donor
Yeah.
and say, "What are you looking for your car?" If they're going, "Well, I just want to help somebody," I say, "Well, I know of a young couple that need a car. Would you mind if I talk to them and see what they can afford?" Absolutely. So it's a whole gamut of different ways to help people.
Right.
So how do the people that are looking for vehicles? Okay, and now this is a huge thing, and I'm going to talk about this as a societal thing, as a Lower Mainland thing. You being from Chilliwack, I'm from Abbotsford, Reiner's from Langley. When was the last time you took a bus? It doesn't exist.
No.
We don't have a bus route out here.
No.
We don't have the ability to take a bus. We don't have a
Absolutely.
train. We don't have the ability to. We are forced to be in our vehicles, and we have to cover long distances.
Yes.
So we are forced to be in our vehicles, and a lot of people that are looking to get a job, looking to get back into the workforce, they need a car, and they need to be able to afford a car, and we all know that it's very, very expensive to have a vehicle now.
Absolutely.
With fuel being, flirting, and they're predicting it being up at $2 a liter in the summertime, which is ridiculous. Then we have
Consider I sometimes do 400 kilometers a day on a regular basis to see all the donors and meet the people and help.
And are you eating that cost yourself?
No, as I said,
so it goes back.
Carlo is helping me out with all this. This is my partnership with him.
Yeah.
He's my sponsor, I would say, in the sense that I work for Fraser Valley Metals.
Yeah. So, so my point is that the more expenses you have, the less that's going to the charities.
That's right.
Right. So the more expensive fuel gets, that's not coming out of the business's pockets. You can't. You wouldn't be in business for very long.
Right now, what my fee is a flat rate of $50 to do all the paperwork.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's driving out, seeing the donor, appraising the vehicle, talking to the donor, arranging for a tow truck, and Carlo pays the towing on these vehicles up until about 264th. Wow. So when we're in Chilliwack and we're most of Abbotsford and that, unless we have to cross the bridge or anything, Fraser Valley Metals is paying that bill.
Okay.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of support from Carlo and the Fraser Valley Metals team that's there. The guys in the yard know what's going on. They are 100% behind this.
Good.
So the cost is there, and we are absorbing a lot of it.
Okay.
Okay. Carlo is absorbing huge amounts. I do sales. If it's a quiet day, I'll do sales for Fraser Valley Metals, that type of thing.
Yeah,
but he hired me
to do this. Absolutely. And it's a good thing, and it's a calling, and we need more of this in our world.
The reason Carlo hired me was when I was doing this, I was holding down my first year in business after I left steel company.
Yeah. The other
Thank
company.
you.
The company that must not be named.
Must not be named, nor do we want to.
Exactly.
I decided to become my own corporation and do this right. I did not agree with how they were doing it.
Right.
I don't believe in administration costs and other costs and other costs.
You want the most money going to the charity.
So I was working, I was working full time. My nephew Jason was towing for me at night and only charging me exactly the fuel and time. That's all. They were being towed to my yard where I would cut out the catalytic converter, cut the wiring out, cut everything out I could for the whole month, store it all up, and I would take it into Fraser Valley Metals.
Yeah.
Carlo finally said to me, how are you doing this? And I said, well, no, I'm 60 years old at night underneath cutting out cats and pulling batteries and doing everything so that my company could move forward.
Right.
And we had several meetings, and he finally said, "Yay, I like what you're doing. You want to come work with me?" I mean, what are you talking about? So we sat down and we started working together, and it's just been growing since.
So auto recycling is alive and well in the Fraser Valley.
We are a scrap metal yard.
Scrap metal yard.
We're not an auto recycler.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's the difference for our listeners?
We don't sell parts.
Okay.
Okay. We make beer cans out of automobiles.
Well, all the beer drinkers, thank you for that. And and again, that's a great point. Is that the new metals that are coming out, it's being recycled. We're all about reduce, reuse, recycle, and that's a huge part of this. And go back to the fact that you're selling cars to people that need the vehicles that can get them back into the workforce. Is there a story that sticks out in your head? Is there some people, make them anonymous, but like...
Absolutely anonymous. Yeah, one of the pull on the heartstrings one was years ago I found out about a lady that was bringing her son down for cancer treatments from Kamloops.
Okay.
Was taking the bus there.
Oh, the Greyhound?
And then poor little guy being, after all the treatment, would be taking the bus back.
Yeah.
The company I was with at the time... ABC Recycling, they were really awesome people. We had a car donated that was a pretty good car.
Yeah.
We fixed it all up, and we gave it to the lady with no fanfare, no look what we did attitude.
Your fanfares now, so please tell the story.
So we gave her the car so that she could actually get her son back and forth for treatment from Kamloops to here without having to do the bus. So when the little guy was sick, he could actually lay on the back seat on the ride home.
Wow.
So that was a great one. We've had a lady that lost her partner and had a motorhome, and she couldn't get back into it. Too many memories. So I went and met her, and I hired a driver because it was like 30-foot motorhome. It's not something you just jump into.
Right.
We got that and helped her through that whole process of getting that done. There's been a lot of... I've been very, very blessed with the fact that the people I get to help give me the credit, and I don't deserve all the credit. There's a whole lot of people behind me that are helping me. The guys at the yard, Carlo, my family. There's a lot of people behind this that help everybody make that one extra day.
That's great. That's great. And it is a win-win situation for the donors. The donors know that the vehicle is going somewhere that's good. Do you have a lot of demand for cars, like as far as people looking for vehicles cheaply or just to get around?
I hear through the churches and through Teen Challenge, and that we've got a young guy that's gone through the program, or we got a young lady that's gone through the program.
Okay.
They got a job. We need to find them a car. And it's basically, like, I would say 90% of the cars I get are not safe to drive on the road.
Right.
But if I do get the cherry one, like the K car with 60K on it, with a car and it just needs a little bit of mechanical. We have Scrap Cars Not Kids. Chris and Brian were two of my original people that came on board when I went corporate. And he helps a lot of people. Chris helps a lot of people with making sure the car's safe.
Yeah.
We can't guarantee anything, but we can look at it and give you a value of it. It's just people helping people.
That's great. And that's what happened. I think that we really need to focus on that as businesses, as charities, as members of our community, that the community starts here. It doesn't start with somebody telling us we need to do something. We're just doing things because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And I applaud you for doing that.
See, that's actually that's actually the way that I met Lori. I had we all know that I'm a redneck, and I might have a few cars in my yard.
One or two.
I might. And there was one Cherokee that I got for parts. I took off all the parts I needed, and it needed to be gone. And I thought, well, sure, I can just throw it down to a wreckers. And then I thought to myself, hey, I wonder if there's any way I could find some charity or something that would take this car. I was curious. And then I went out to the 4-Wheel Drive Association, and I asked, and they said, well, that was... your choice to donate is out there, and you should maybe connect with Lori. So I did, and then she says, she's telling me all the stuff, and I said, well, that's great. And I explained to her that because I run a nonprofit society as well. She says, oh, really? What's the society? And then she says, well, why don't you become one of our nonprofits that we help support? So that's actually how this relationship happened. It was that easy. It was literally like, oh, you have a nonprofit here. Can we help you? And it was that simple, and that really impressed me. So I might be a little bit of an environmental person, not a tree hugger in any way, shape, or form, but I do actually care about what we have going around.
I know that.
I hug my Jeep. My Jeeps have hugged trees. not intentionally sometimes.
The trees hugged your Jeep.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that brings us to a great point. You do work with like any charity that's out there, but who are so Think Generously is Reiner's.
Is Reiner's, yeah. We work
and so
closely with them.
and so Think Generously works through the Christmas Bureau and
That's
gives,
right, yeah.
and gives families at Christmas time a Christmas that they would never have had,
Correct.
other than the fact that these people donated. You also work with the SPCA. Like, what are some of their other charities that you do?
The SPCA that I worked with very closely is the Chilliwack and Abbotsford one. Will do for any of the SPCA. They all know about myself as the car program. We did March Metals Month.
Oh,
And what we did was we put a small bin at both Chilliwack and Abbotsford and said, and SPCA promoted it, and Your Choice to Donate promoted it out on Facebook and talking. And over the month of March, we raised over $900.
wow.
That was just
fantastic.
from guys bringing barbecues, and you're in your backyard.
I was just going to
what
ask
the
you
heck
that.
do I-
There's a lot of spring cleaning that's going to be coming up, guys, right?
Absolutely.
So let's if we're out there cleaning the garages out, and you've got no. I personally have,
wheelbarrow, that spare tire off the car four cars ago.
Yeah.
That
We're actually going to have a bin. We're doing a car wash in Abbotsford in
June 15th, I believe
June
it is.
15th, I think, was the agreed on date.
okay, so June
And
15th.
that's a Think Generously Society car wash through Think Referrals. Oh, and quickly about the Think Generously, you said that we give people a Christmas that they wouldn't normally have. We also go a little bit above that. We make sure that they have food in their pantry after Christmas. We make sure that they have some extra things as well. But this car wash, we're going to have a bin there for your scrap metal. So if you have an old barbecue, if you have a wheelbarrow, if you have stuff like that, even old
Patio
rims,
furniture.
yeah.
The thing that hooks a lot of people, they don't understand: pots, pans, silverware,
Yeah.
office chair, filing cabinets. They put them out in the back.
Yeah.
There's so much. If it's metal,
Yeah.
we'll take it.
Yeah,
And
washing
will you
machines,
come and get it?
Washing machines, washers, dryers. We cannot do the community that favor. We'd
Right.
really like to, but
Yeah.
at the cost of gas and then having to pay somebody to sort of go out and get. You got to understand, your washer and your dryer that you take to
Yeah.
the dump that costs you around $20 to get rid of.
Yeah.
If you brought it to us, you could turn around and give it to your choice of charities, which could be Reiner or Scrap Cars Not Kids, Teen Challenge, Cyrus Center.
Any number of good
yeah.
things. So instead of being out of pocket $20 to take
But
it
they're
to
going to sell it to us anyhow.
the
they're gonna-
dumps are going to sell it to you anyway.
The dumps
So-
bring it to
Yeah.
the to the
That's
metal
the-
recycling
yeah,
So
yards.
you're cutting out the middleman here.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, so it goes directly to
I think this month, the Chilliwack Bailey dump is allowing free metal.
Oh.
They're promoting that you can bring your metal in it for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, whenever I
I'm
dump
not-
metal off, but
Yeah.
it's free. But
It is free for the month, and
Yeah.
that's nice.
And then they're going to sell it to you guys, and then
Whoever has a contract with
whoever
Bailey.
has the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're better off to just ignore them and go right to you.
That's right.
and you are in. Where is your yard then?
We're at 34272 Industrial Way, Abbotsford, which is down next door to the SPCA, right off of the Sumas by road area.
Okay.
A little behind Costco.
I was just drove by there earlier today.
Okay, so I can be tacky here because
There's no limit
there's
to
a- there's
tackiness.
a-
We love tacky.
there's a large company with a large pile of garbage.
Yeah.
Go past that to the clean yard,
Okay.
and we'll be happy. The nice thing about, I have to mention too, I couldn't do this without the staff at Fraser Valley Metals. They have guys there to help people unload. If you have never been to a metal yard, tell them when you come in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. We are literally the friendliest metal yard in Abbotsford for the simple reason our customer service is very important to us. It's not just, hey, buddy, drop it over there, who cares?
Yeah.
They care.
Good.
Okay, and the girls in the office are awesome. They will help walk you through on how to get over the scale, wait for the light, where in the yard to go, and then they'll show you your ticket with your value of your item, and you can tell them to donate it to whichever choice of charities you'd like.
Well, Lori, fantastic. I'm going to summarize up here. So people in the Fraser Valley, if you have any metal, any vehicle that you want that's taking up room in your yard or in your parents' yard, grandparents' yard, If you're looking to do some spring cleaning, this is an appropriate time. We're just about we're into spring, but we're still in the rainy season in Vancouver. So we're in the
That's spring, right?
We have 2 seasons, wet and not wet.
Right.
Or not as wet.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's the one we all like to enjoy. Go on to yourchoice2donate.ca. Reach out to Lori. She's got contacts for everything. If she doesn't know the answer, or if she doesn't have the ability to help you out, she'll know where to direct you to get you into the right spot, to get the metal taken care of, the recycling taken care of. You're going to be good to the environment. You're going to raise some money for some charities, and you're going to get a tax receipt as well. So if you want,
it is a free tow for the donor
and a free tow. So you just make the call. Lori comes out, tells you what you can expect as far as a taxable receipt is concerned. They'll send the tow truck out. You just need to be there when the tow truck's there to direct them which vehicle, so they don't take the new one.
They just have to meet me because I do the paperwork, take a picture of the vehicle, and then my tow truck driver come and get.
Oh, fantastic!
So they don't have to be there and wait any 4 hours or 5 hours, which some companies
Right.
do.
Yeah.
We'll get there sometime before noon.
Yeah.
No, I will come out, do the paperwork, get the keys. I go back usually the next day, if not that afternoon, the next day.
Yeah.
It's a 24-hour service.
Perfect. So and this is the big thing with a lot of different things that are really good for people to do. There's a lot of friction. There's a lot of restrictions. There's a lot of
My donors
paperwork
are as important to me as the people we help.
and that's fantastic. You've created a frictionless environment for people to do the right thing.
That's right.
And that, I think, is what we should really be looking at as an environmental footprint. If we want to...
What would we call that? We would call
common
that...
sense.
Oh, wow.
So if you're listening, various governments across this country, if you want us to be better for the environment, then make it easier for us to do that. Exactly. Don't force us to drive everywhere. And people that are just getting up back on their feet and they need a car so they can get a job, or they can get a job they don't have a car. Like it correlates in the Vancouver area. If you don't have a car, or outside of the Vancouver, the proper downtown core, you can walk anywhere in the downtown core. But if you're out in the Fraser Valley, if you don't have a car, you really don't have a job. And if you don't have a job, you don't have a car. And that's just good for everybody. If we can get more people working, sadly, more people on the road, but we can do our darndest to minimize the environmental impact. So, Lori, thank you so much for you're not off the hook yet, though, just so you know.
Uh-oh.
We've got a surprise for you. Well, you probably know the
It's
surprise
not a
now.
surprise.
It's not a surprise anymore. We're too...
But we have our speed round.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to choose some random questions here. And so the idea here is I'm going to ask you a question, and quickly, without thinking too hard on it, you're just going to give me an answer. So we'll start with climb a mountain or jump from a plane.
Climb a mountain.
If you were really hungry, would you eat a bug?
Yes.
Would you eat a day-old taquita from 7-Eleven?
No.
I wouldn't eat a fresh one from 7-Eleven.
I don't even know what that is.
Taquito? I don't know.
Taquito. Oh, no, thanks.
Can I go back to the bug?
Do you have any friends taller than 6'4"?
Yes.
If there's a spider in your house, do you kill it or set it free?
Set it free.
Excellent. And with that, Lori, I want to thank you very much for coming on our show. I am looking forward to having you back, though.
Yeah.
We talked about this before the show. We're going to have you back with Carlos, and we're gonna continue this conversation because I think there's a lot more to actually discuss.
Yeah, Lori, we're letting you off pretty scot-free. I really want to dig in. I want to dig in on you and find out what makes you tick because.
Could I add one thing?
Absolutely.
If anybody has a corporation where they have cars or trucks, like electrical companies, plumbing companies, when it's the end of life, a lot of times they have to leave them out the back because of taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Why not donate it? It's a tax write-off, guys.
Absolutely.
And if you have any questions as to how the tax receipt works,
Please
I do
call
know
me.
a good certified financial planner that can help you with how to figure out the tax receipt and how much you actually are going to get back from the government.
So do I.
And tax credits.
Oh, he's right here.
Shameless plug for my business, but
We're
anyways,
shameless.
This is a great. I really want to focus on the fact that this is good for the environment. It's
Absolutely.
a win-win for everybody that's involved. Lori, she's got her ear and her nose to the grindstone. She knows everybody that's in the community, so churches, charities, you name it, the people that are in need. She wants to help these people out. So Lori, this is a calling. With one of the original mechanics from the Kwantlen program. She's the original feminist, everybody. So thank you so much for coming on our show today, Lori.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
I really appreciate your time.
And so everybody, let's have some common sense out there.